Hello and welcome to episode number 152 of the Board Game Barrage podcast. With me as always are my fellow tanks. Neelan, the orange tank. Say something.
Hello, sorry. Hello, hi, I'm here. Me, Neelan.
My style is to introduce, you say something, introduce, you say something.
Got it.
Kellen, the red tank.
Red.
And and with us for this special holiday episode, a little gift in your stocking, Christina, the blue tank.
Wait, hang on. I was trying to
No,
get
it's
I was
just
trying
to
to
say
get
blue.
a jingle bell sound effect, and in my mind I could hear the little the beginning of the jingle bell song, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But then I thought, how do I make that sound?
Try making it.
And I couldn't do it.
Just gut
What?
feeling, try making it. First thing that comes to your mind.
Bring, bring, bring.
Perfect.
But what's the song I'm thinking of that starts out with jingle bells? Because it's not jingle bells.
I have.
There's got to be a ton of them.
No,
Of
you're
Christmas
right,
songs
you're
that
right.
start with bells,
Yeah.
surely.
Somebody know exactly what I'm
Which
thinking.
one you're thinking of, yeah.
So,
I guess I should say hello, huh? Hello.
I mean, that's one way to do it. Kellen has taken another tact, but
Yeah,
So-
he's just been calling himself Red lately.
I love the idea that Kellen's like fully inhabiting Pokemon form and he only speaks for saying, Red Tank, Red Tank.
Oh.
Red is the protagonist, Neelan, of Pokemon Red.
Oh, I did not know that. This is
Is it really?
Ash, huh?
Yeah. No, it's Red.
is there a blue?
Yes.
Okay.
Your rival.
And that's their actual Christian name.
Wait, is that in Pokemon Red, you said?
Yeah, it gets a little funky because in the manga there's like red, green, and blue who are all different characters. And like in Japan, the original games were red and green, and then here in America they were red and blue. I was reading about some origins of this earlier today.
I could tell.
So, does Ash only show up in the anime?
That's correct.
Okay.
Satoshi in Japan.
Did not know that.
All right. You're welcome, everybody.
I will answer to Satoshi. Ash. No, oh no. What's happening over here?
Oh, that was an ad.
It's not even the Christmas episode. Oh, I guess it kind of is.
All right.
Fun fact.
Fun fact.
Fun fact is that this is not a widely known song in South Africa at all. I think outside of America, actually. So my only context was this, is that it's used in Home Alone 2, I think, in the scene that always struck me as very ominous and scary. So I always had like a very scary association with that song.
It is sort of like ominous.
It
There
kind
an
of is.
ominous- Yeah, that ding dong.
Is it in Krampus too?
Nobody watches Krampus.
People love Krampus.
December 5th was the night of Krampus, so if anybody got visited by Krampus, goodbye.
You're dead now. The only good thing about being in choir is Christmas music. Because, like, I started to do the tenor harmony, which I can't do since I became a man. And my hands got so large. But back in the day, you know, we would just sing that and sort of, like, walk around the high school and go visit, like...
You walked around the high school singing that?
Yeah, what are you
Oh,
talking
like
about?
Christmas carols? Like you
Yeah.
went door to door?
Well, and that song specifically was a really fun one to do because there's a lot
Because a lot of
it's
harmonies.
dynamic and
Ding dong.
you can creep people out.
ding.
Did you consider going down the castrati route, Kellen?
In the absence of knowing who that is, I'm going to say no.
It's not who that is. It's, what
It's
they-
not who, it's what.
Yeah.
Is this one of those like choir boy things?
No, but close.
It's in
kind
that
of.
neighborhood.
It's
It's in the neighborhood.
it's in that neighborhood, yeah.
But-
Think about the word castrati.
Wow, that pronunciation helped.
Do you get it?
If someone's hands were getting too big, for example.
You might want to cast.
Yeah, do the hands just shrink when that happens?
Assumedly.
No, that's the case. But there is a fifth person here. He's coming down the chimney, but he's not Saint Nick. He's BGBBOB. And that's right.
Oh. Is he wearing a Santa hat at least?
He's wearing like a turret on his head.
Okay.
What?
He does. Yeah.
It's
He's wearing a
ghost
turret.
turkey with a gun.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. He visits you in your sleep with a turn on his head, and he just looks at you. So he's here to help us, help you. 'Tis the season. We are going to help all you out there figure out the best board game gifts. It's Christmas. It's a gift-giving season, and you may have questions. What gifts do I give? Well, we're here with answers.
Follow these 12 proven strategies. Results guaranteed.
You won't want to miss this. Click here.
That's right. That's right. But before we get into the listing and the ranking, we are going to be talking about the games that we've played. Neelan is going to start us off with Pandemic: Fall of Rome. And then I'm going to follow up with another sequel, Rogers of the Ganges, The Dice Charmers. All right, Neelan, tell us about the Fall of Rome.
So, Pandemic: Fall of Rome. This is Kellen's favorite board game title format. Pandemic: Fall of Rome is a spin-off, I guess you could say, of the Pandemic franchise. It is very much in the same rule set mechanically as Pandemic, but oddly enough, it does not involve a pandemic even in the slightest, unless you consider the barbarians marauding across the ancient Roman Empire as a pandemic. But this takes the rule set of Pandemic and moves it to the era around the fall of Rome. So Rome has grown too large, they have too many lands to control, and barbarians are invading and sort of starting to decimate sections of the empire. If you're not familiar with Pandemic, the way that this works out is that you have a map in which you move around with one of your characters. It is a cooperative game where, as part of the process of setup and at the end of every turn, more invasion cubes are sort of entering the map from different points, representing, in this case, the barbarian armies infiltrating the empire. What you're doing is you're moving around the map with your legions, which you can use to engage in battle with the barbarian hordes. You're also collecting cards, which happens at the end of the turn, with the intent of collecting sets of cards of the same color. Because if you do this, say that you get 4 orange cards, you can then spend an action to trade those in order to create an alliance with the orange barbarian faction. If you create an alliance with all 5 factions, you've won the game. But there are so many different ways to lose this, because you have a clock on the game. This deck of cards that you're drawing from, if that ever runs out, you lose. If Rome ever gets sacked by the barbarians, you lose. If enough cities ever get sacked, you lose. And if you ever have to place a cube of a specific barbarian color on the map that you cannot, you lose. So there's a couple of different lose conditions that you're managing by moving around the board, fighting off the barbarian hordes with your legions, creating fortifications, trying to collect the right sets of cards and pass them off to the other players so that they can get the sets you need to create these alliances. This is going to sound at least somewhat familiar if you've played Pandemic, which I assume is a lot of people listening to this podcast. But what makes Fall of Rome really interesting is it sort of injects almost war-gamey mechanics into the system, in that you have armies you're recruiting, these little legions that you have to follow around and manage their positions. The way that the barbarians invade is sort of along these sort of war paths, so starting from their camps, heading towards specific cities, which means that they have very specific routes that they're following in order to get towards Rome, which means that you have effectively choke points. You can concentrate your legions in specific locations. You can create forts in strategic positions so that you can move there and back in order to get more legions. And also, when you do the battles with them, it's not just a simple case of, removing cubes. You're rolling dice. You roll as many dice as you have legions, and the results of the dice are going to determine how many barbarians die, how many legions die, and so on. So there's just enough of this injection of sort of risk-like or dudes on the map type mechanics in a cooperative structure, while still feeling very much like Pandemic, in a way that I thought was pretty neat. As someone that has not played Pandemic Legacy, which is by far and away the most popular, the most loved version of Pandemic, this was the one that I felt the most strongly about. Mark and Kellen, you guys have both played Fall of Rome. What did you think?
Yeah, we actually played this together way back when.
Back when we were friends.
When we were friends, yes. Now we're bitter enemies, but still have to do this podcast because the fans demand it. No, I remember, for whatever reason, did this game come out to less than stellar reviews? I don't remember. I remember going into our play of it, not really having very high expectations and really enjoying it. I know that it came down to a very, very late loss for us, which, heightened the experience and, sort of made it more fun. And I remember being a little concerned about the dice and how much influence they were going to have on the game, and thinking that the way the dice worked was satisfying. It wasn't really a thing that caused quote-unquote unfair swings of the game. And I also remember the player powers. Aren't the player powers activated for many players, the player powers are activated when a certain die face, like the Roman eagle, comes up on the die?
Yeah, that's right. Every player has like one or two passive powers, which are the things you would expect from Pandemic, like being easier to move around the board, that sort of thing. But yeah, they all have this triggered power at the bottom where when one face of the die is rolled, also triggers.
Yeah. I just remember having a really good time playing it and being very pleasantly surprised.
For a co-op, it's good. No, I think if I recall correctly, the lines that the troops moved through were different per color.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that felt pretty different than regular Pandemic, where there isn't really much difference between, blue virus and red virus. And in this case, like there are different decisions that you're trying to make based on how close one of those specific armies has gotten versus another. I think it's a miraculous sort of adaptation of a system that you almost wonder why they had to put Pandemic on the box.
Yeah.
And not in a bad way. It's fine.
No, but like it kind of made me wonder a little bit of like, the reason they do it obviously is because the franchise is successful, but I do wonder if that worked against it a little bit, because I would almost say that this is a game that I would say is worth considering even if you disliked Pandemic, and I think a lot of people will be put off by it just because it says Pandemic on it.
I agree with you. I think that's a very good point. I think you don't have to be a fan of Pandemic to like this game, and I think if you're sort of tired of Pandemic and you immediately paint this game with that brush, you might be missing out on something.
Pro tip for all board game publishers listening to this podcast: don't put Pandemic on your box cover right now, you dummies.
Right. Yeah. This year of all years, I think if they're not going to learn that lesson. But I think one of the things that was neat with respect to what you were saying, Kellen, is that each of the colors also feels like a little bit like they have a slightly different personality, because for example, the black barbarian color, they have a longer route to get to Rome. So there's kind of this feel like, oh, I have to deal with the blues quickly, but I can wait for this to sort of progress further before I feel like they need to be stepped in. So it did have a more interesting dynamics between the different, enemy colors. But yeah, that is, I think, all my thoughts on Pandemic Fall of Rome. Eager to play this more. It seems really cool. And having played this with, again, a partner who does not play games that frequently, she really dug it. I think cooperative games are an easy recommend in that department for sure. Yeah, Pandemic Fall of Rome.
Do you really say it colon? Or were you just making a funny voice?
Now you've got me cord. I don't know. Colon is what you would call your intestine.
That's not what I call it.
But would I say semicolon? I don't know, actually. That's a good question, Christina.
I would call both the body part and the part of grammar a colon.
Just colon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Then I think it's probably colon for both. But also, it could be wrong. I don't know.
I feel like listeners are learning a lot.
I definitely am not inventing that pronunciation. I think that is a accepted pronunciation, but it could be one of those things where half of the people in the Commonwealth said one way, half of them said the other.
From Battlestar Galactica with Cobol.
Exactly.
I feel like this has been a very educational episode so far. And I'm going to follow that up with a little lesson on Rajas of the Ganges, the Dice Charmers. Rajas of the Ganges, the Dice Charmers, is a dice version of Rajas of the Ganges, the board game, which came out a couple years ago. Both are by the Brand siblings, Inca and Marcus. Rajas of the Ganges, the Dice Charmers, has the same victory condition as Rajas of the Ganges, which is, in both games, you have a victory point track and a currency track, and whoever gets those two tracks that are traveling in opposite directions to meet wins. So if you get a bunch of victory points and just a little bit of money, you can win that way or the other way around, but when those two tracks meet, you win the game. Like Rajas of the Ganges, the board game, this game is heavily reliant on the dice, as you might have guessed with the subtitle, The Dice Charmers. The way this works is the active player is going to roll 8 dice of 4 different colors, each color corresponding to sort of one thing on your player board. Everybody has their own individual player boards that they're going to be marking up. The active player is going to select one of the 8 dice. Whatever die he selects, the corresponding color die, so they're like 2 pink die. If he picks one of them, the other one now is unavailable to the other players, and then you go around the table with everybody selecting one of the remaining dice to use to mark their boards. The dice, as I said, come in 4 different varieties. One pair of dice depicts sort of types of roads, so either straight roads, bench roads, or half roads, and you're using that to mark up the map on your player board. As you're marking the map, when you travel through palaces, you'll get points, you'll activate special powers. The other pair of dice depict characters. If you select one of the characters, they activate powers that allow you to do things on the board like sell goods or move up and down different tracks. Another pair of dice to pick goods that you can get. So if you select one of the dice that have goods, you will circle the goods in your little market on your board, and then you can later sell those goods for currency, moving you down the currency track. And finally, there is a pair of river dice. This was an aspect of the board game, this river, where you could get bonuses. Same thing sort of applies here. You select one of the dice that depict stops along the river, and wherever you stop, you'll activate a bonus. And as you might expect with these dice games, as you progress, the bonuses start clicking off each other. So you'll pick the green dice to draw on the map. That map will activate your ability to activate a character. That character will move you down the river. The river will give you either victory points or currency. So towards the end of the game, things are firing off. You're getting a bunch of bonuses. Whereas in the first couple turns, you do one thing, and then it'll be the next player's turn. Later in the game, a turn becomes, I'm doing this, I'm getting this, which activates this, boom, 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 boom. So I think it's going for, obviously, a fairly faithful interpretation of the original board game. It's also, I think, going for a mid-weight roll and write. And it's fun in the combo sense. The combo aspect of it is good. You get that in a lot of different roll and writes, though, so that's maybe not something that'll have it stand apart. It's also got 2 sets of these game pads, a night and a day, so there's a lot to play with. There's a lot to try out. And, with all these dice and all these aspects, there's a lot of different things to fire off. That being said, it did feel like a little bit like a mess in the game that I played. There was some questioning of how the rules worked out and how things fired off. So there's a little bit of so many things going on that there's some lack of clarity in the rules. But I think that's something you'd get over after a couple plays. But my biggest issue was player 1 was doing a bunch of things. Player 2 was doing a bunch of things. I was doing a bunch of things. And in the end, we all sort of ended up very, very close to winning the game. It felt like a stew of like a lot of different things, but in the end, everybody's going to end up being close and one person's going to eke it out. It felt like that would be the way the game works. Now, with more plays, maybe you'd get really good at it and that wouldn't bear out. But to me, it had the sense of like design so that everybody would finish close in the end, which felt like a bit of deflation to me. It's very pretty. It's got this little 3D elephant you can make, and the dice are colorful, and the pads are super colorful and nice and big. But I left it sort of feeling like, for all the decisions you make, it felt like a game of chance where who actually won would largely be determined by luck, because everybody was sort of like so close to winning. I wasn't really super excited about playing it in the future.
That's interesting because I already played the original Rogers of the Ganges once, but I don't remember that being a problem with that game at all. In fact, the strongest memories I have of the original is how thoroughly I was beaten by the person who won that game. So it kind of seems like a pity to have taken that formula and then just futzed it enough that it's that close.
Yeah, I think that you could get good at this game. I get that sense, but it just has felt like so many combos connect to each other that toward the end, most people would be near one another.
I just am kind of fascinated by the roll and write sort of adaptation, because you have Rajas of the Ganges, the regular game has dice already. And so this is a roll and write version. Is it intended to be the same game? And it even says re-implements, right, on Board Game Geek.
Yeah.
Is it the same game but shorter? Is it the same game but roll and write? Because roll and write itself doesn't mean anything. It just means filling out your score sheet.
Right.
And we can criticize it for that, but then on the other end of the spectrum, we look at like Trois, which is also medium-heavy Euro game with dice, and then they make Trois dice, which has nothing to do with the regular Trois, and then I criticize that for being too disparate.
Right.
And so where is the right balance? What is this for? For someone who likes Big Brother, why would you want Little Sister, when you could have Big Brother?
Yeah, it's interesting. Unlike Trois dice, this does feel like it has a lot of similarities to the, as you call it, Big Brother, Rogers of the Ganges. But as sort of Neelan alluded to, it's not like the skills that you'd have in the one game would necessarily translate to this game. I mean, you have the idea of the 2 tracks and where they converge being the winning position. You have the city building a little bit, although it's much different in Rogers of the Ganges, the base game. You have like the market, you have the river aspect, which is in both games, and there's some similarities there because in both the dice game and the original game, the river is a place where you pick up bonuses. But there's enough difference there. I don't think that if you love the strategy of Rogers of the Ganges, that is going to carry over. It feels to me like a nice game to play with other quote-unquote board gamers, people who are in the hobby, but still going to be like a trifle. It's not going to be something that you're going to be like itching to play over and over again. It's a fine like start your night or end the night sort of thing because of all the comboing is fun, like, and all the dice to select from is sort of fun. But just I don't think it has the meat there to be a game that you want to play like, you know, a year from now or anything like that. So that is Rajas of the Ganges, the Dice Charmers. So without further ado, let's get to it. BGBBOB, Slide Down the Chimney. Let's start it. So for those who haven't listened to a previous BGBBOB episode, I don't know why you would have done that, but what we're doing is we're using Pub Meeple's ranking engine to rank 2 things on our list. We'll keep doing this until we have an ordered list, and that will tell you the greatest holiday gifts to give to the board gamer or the aspiring board gamer. Do people aspire to be board gamers? In your life. So here we go. First up is...
I think you aspire to make other people board gamers.
Sure.
These are games that we have given as gifts, unless we're liars and we haven't yet. But these are good games to... Neelan, don't be a liar. These are games that we have given out or want to give out as gifts.
I have personally given these as gifts. So.
All right. So,
all of them, even the one she has that doesn't know yet.
That's right.
What?
First up.
You
Oh,
don't
yeah.
know half the games.
All 12 of them I've given
That's
as gifts.
First up is Shh versus Codenames. I believe Shh is from Kellen and Codenames is from Christina. Is that correct?
Could be. Who can say?
Who could say?
Well,
We
you have to
both-
defend them, so...
We both like both of those
All right,
names.
I'll start. Shh is a word game.
It's so
That's
annoying
rude.
to talk
Rude.
about.
Shh. Well, you've been trying to get us back on track this whole episode, Mark.
That's
It's
right.
like we're trying to have fun and talk to each other, and you're like,
No. Next up. Let's move it along.
Shh is a very simple word cooperative game. Cooperative games are very easy to play with non-gamers, as Neelan mentioned earlier with Pandemic Fall of Rome. In Shh, you are doing a word game where you're using the... Ooh, how many letters are in the alphabet? 25? Letters...
26.
Close.
26 letters of the alphabet to spell words, but if you get in trouble, you lose the game. So you put down the F, and then you desperately hope that the next player gets you to friend, but they don't because they start spelling food, but then you remember there's only one O, and you're like, oh, we lose. Then we start it over. Shh makes a great gift. It is like under $10. It's very small.
It's a pocket of gum game.
It's a pack of gum game,
Or-
and it's
yeah,
adorable.
A pack of gum game that fits in your pocket.
It's a pack a game.
Oh, yeah, that's what it's called. Pack a game, put it in your pocket.
Talk about bang for your bucks. This thing
Talk
is...
about it, except this isn't a box. This is
it's
a
what a-
pack.
Well, we'll have to debate what a box is.
That's coming up next on the Board Game Bar Podcast.
I love Shh. I bought it for Kellen, so I should love it.
As a gift.
As a gift. That's true. Yeah, I
Yes.
did buy this as a gift. Okay, so it actually almost made my list because I think it would be a great gift. But what did make my list is Codenames, because we have talked a lot about how we love this game so much and we've played it so much because we love it so much that we never really want, it's not the first thing that we're like, bring it to the table. But when we do, we have such a great experience. And I just think back to those first like 20 times we played it, you know? And I think back to any time that I've played it with somebody who's new to the group or who has never played board games before. And it is always a positive experience, and it always ends with that person saying, oh my gosh, I didn't know something like this could exist. That was so much fun. Do you have other games like this? And like, I feel like this is a gateway game for so many people. So for me, again, this is kind of a gift.
False.
Which part?
All of it.
This is kind of something that I would, obviously you're not going to get this for somebody who plays a bunch of board games because they already have this, but I've gotten this for 2 separate couples who have gotten married. Basically, any of my friends, if you get married, you will get board games for your wedding because that's all I give. And I gave this to them and they loved it.
I thought you were implying that they got married after you gave them this. Like, this was the
This is
clincher.
the clincher.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that would be a better story. I just gave it as a wedding gift.
All right. What I want to say is think of the infomercial. Think of someone opening the Codenames box and seeing all those little tiny cards with their big hands and trying to lift them up, trying to get them out on the table. And there's just too many cards. They don't stack. They fall everywhere. Shh, fire
Are
away.
you going back to your mother?
You're arguing for the game that has
Fire
like
away.
3-inch by half an inch long cards.
There's only 20 cards, Neelan.
Wait, before
There's
we move
26.
One point of order. Wait, before we move on, Kellen sort of jumped the gun, but for those who haven't listened to a previous BGBOB episode, once somebody says fire away, that vote is locked in. You cannot change your vote on a fire away, so Kellen has locked in his vote for shh.
Wait,
Carry
Kellen,
on.
you're really locking in for shh?
Yeah, it's too hard on your hands. to-
Okay. You gotta be serious.
All right, I'm locking in for Codenames.
All right.
Fire away.
Me too. Fire away.
Neil,
I think it's shh for this one, Christina, and I think the
Yeah.
reason for that is specifically because Codenames is a game that I think I would find hard to recommend as a gift in 2020 because it's past that peak a little bit. It's kind of at the point now where I feel like a lot of people have it already. Shh still like represents a sort of novelty to me.
I think we have very different friends, Neelan.
No.
you would rather give somebody
Neelan has the best friends.
a pack of gum size gift than Codenames.
Yeah,
Okay.
can you imagine somebody like receiving that
Have
for
you
their
ever-
wedding?
What?
You ever
And
heard
they're
of-
like,
Yeah,
oh,
exactly.
thanks for,
I'm not the one
thanks
giving
for
people
coming
board
to my
games for
wedding.
people's weddings.
That is ridiculous. Neil.
Okay, it is Christmas time. Have you heard of a stocking stuffer,
stuffer.
Mark?
Stuff that with Codenames. Why do you gotta stuff it with little shit?
It's not going to fit in there.
Are you
What, do
gonna
have
stuff?
the biggest feet in the world?
Are you gonna stuff a stocking with shh? That stocking is never gonna get stuffed.
50 packs of gum and shh.
Right. Bunch of Wrigley's and shh.
I think it's shh fire away for me, but I don't know what do we do in a 2v2?
It's whoever's more passionate.
passionate.
Whichever pair is more passionate. So
Yeah.
I don't even think we have to argue about this one. It's obviously me and Mark.
All right, I'm the host. I'm going with Codenames. All right,
Fire away.
fire away. All right, Quest for El Dorado versus Just One. Just One. Christina eloquently argued for Codenames. I would have the same argument for Just One. Just One is a game that you can bring with non-gamers, and in my experience at least, they always leave absolutely loving it and wanting to buy it
Satisfied.
themselves. Satisfied, yeah. Pure satisfaction. Just one word. Satisfaction. Christina, your rebuttal.
All right. I have Quest for El Dorado on my list. This is a little different than the person that I would give Codenames, although maybe not, because Quest for El Dorado is a great, I don't know if like it's a great starter game, but I think that one of my criteria for this list was like the rules are not too complex and the game is not too complex and the mechanics are simple enough that people who don't play games are still like, oh yeah, I get this. I get it after one round, and then they can have fun on the first play, basically.
That sounds exactly like Just One.
Well, but I think that we can't only stock the stuffing with party games. I think we also have to stock the stuffing with substance, you know?
You're stocking the stuffing?
Wait, what? What did I say?
You've been saying stock the stuffing.
No, I told you my brain's not working today. It's not fair to record me like this. Okay, so yes, stock the stuffing.
I think Quest for El Dorado also has this sort of built-in, and I think about this too when I give them as gifts, games that work with like 4 players, and you give it to a couple, and then you say, you know, we're going to teach you the first time, and then after that, it's easy enough for them to play it again. So sort of just beyond the click of what would be like normal, like Monopoly bad. And I think Quest for El Dorado fits like right in that realm of like, we'll teach you how to play it, you set it up, and then they're going to keep playing it over and over and over again, as opposed to Just One, you know, which is a game that everyone has invented before without needing the game.
Yeah, they're like, I already have this game in my junk drawer.
I've played this since I was a 2-year-old in school.
All right, well, I'm going Just One.
And
Fire away.
everybody loves going on a treasure hunt. So that's,
I think these are
you know.
both great picks, and they were actually both extremely close to being on my submissions. Quest for El Dorado, I think, is going to get the edge for me because I was borderline putting on this on my list. I think this is a game I have given as a gift before, and I think is an excellent choice in bridging the gap between anyone can play this, and this is a game I would happily play all of the time. This is one of my top 50 games. It is excellent. It's an excellent recommendation for gamers and non-gamers alike. I think that would be my choice of the two easily. Fire away.
Mark,
Fire away.
I would have been on your side, but you shushed me. Fire away, Quest for El Dorado.
All right, Quest for El Dorado. All right, next up we have Werewords versus Modern Art.
So Modern Art is a game that very much surprised me when we played this. I played this for the first time with my cohorts earlier this year and ended up playing it a couple of times since on Tabletop Simulator. I think the thing that is so cool about modern art is that it's a game that's sort of as gamery as you want it to be, because it's effectively an auction game. And I think that that premise is both easy to explain, has a lot of fun twists baked into the box because there are different types of auctions, and gets kind of as fun or as rowdy as you make it. There's a lot of people sort of arguing for like this piece of art being worth people's time, where, you know, it's just another card in the game, but you sort of invent the fun on top of that. Money being a hidden factor is always a fun bout of speculation of who you think has the most money versus who doesn't. And it's just a game that you can easily teach to a bunch of people and have a fun time playing every time. Every time I play it, at least.
Werewords is a game that I just played with family, including my 12-year-old niece, who is not really into games. She always wants to try playing games with us, but we tend to play games that are a little more complicated. So I was a little hesitant bringing out Werewords, but she loved it. She got the hang of it immediately. She had some incredible moments as a werewolf. I was shocked by how easy it was to teach and how easy it was to get people into it. Although it's a variant of 20 questions, so that should maybe not have surprised me. This is now a game, after my experience playing it recently, that I'll bring to any non-gamer situation where people are asking me to bring games along. So my argument with modern art, which is a game that I absolutely love, and I love to see the Doctor represented as much as possible on our list, is I just think this is a game that is a little fragile for people who don't know what they're doing, and like a person who's making bad bids can really swing this game. So it takes a little bit of, for lack of a better term, sophistication in terms of how bidding games and auction games work. I love it. I absolutely love it, but I'm going to go with Werewords. Far away.
But you wouldn't think that they would have fun doing it, because of just how loosey-goosey it is, because, I'm with you that there are games that feel like, oh, I'm doing badly, and modern art can be one of those games, absolutely. But I feel like it's fun and silly enough that I don't think that matters in the...
Yeah, it's pretty stressful.
It's very stressful?
Yeah.
It can be very
see that.
I mean, auction games are inherently,
I can see
think,
that.
Yeah.
But it depends. You could play this game loosey-goosey and silly, and, the art is fantastic, so that adds a lot to it. It just depends on how serious people want to be playing it. But I think even with a little bit of seriousness, this game can.
Can you stock the stuffing with Werewords, Mark?
Yeah, absolutely. Better than shh.
I'm a bit distressed here by this choice. Giving someone modern art has sort of this air of sophistication to it. Honestly, where they might have fun looking at the pictures, even if they never play it. Honestly, I'm not lying. They might open, there's tactile, there's giving someone a gift, especially a non-gamer, that they look at it and what does the game as an object sort of represent or look like? Now, on the very opposite end of that spectrum is Werewords, which has perhaps the worst art I've ever seen depicted in a board game ever, and the worst clip art put together, shoddy construction. I never want to look at that again. In my life.
What in God's name are you talking
There's actually multiple versions of
Yeah,
Werewords.
I was going to say...
The game was so popular, even how bad it looked, that they redid the art. They're like, oh, fine, we'll spend the money.
People loved it that much, even when it had clip art, evidently, that they had to revise it. So it sounds like
easy when you steal it. Modern art, fire away.
Yeah, so I'm also conflicted because I would pick Insider if the pick was Insider, and really I would pick Werewords because it's the same game, but because we've decided that this is not the same game and we're separating them and they have to fight, I obviously want Insider to win later, so Werewords is getting stuffed down the list, and modern art, fire away.
Mine is Werewords, but I love your rationale.
This metagaming
I'm 100% for it.
I love it.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. That's great.
Well-deserved win for modern art.
That's right. That's right. All right. Speak of the devil, we've got Insider versus Unmatched.
All right. So speaking of stocking stuffings, I just have to keep saying it that way now. Okay. All right. Speaking of doing that, who would be not happy to pull this beautiful little Oink Game box out of their
Stuffing.
Stuffing.
Pull it right out of the turkey.
Right out of the butt of the turkey.
What?
Isn't that where the stuffing goes?
Yeah, this is Christmas time.
Yeah, some people
Christmas turkey.
have
There are
turkeys on
children
Christmas.
listening.
Oh, really? It would do you well to remember that there are children listening, Kellen. Oh, gosh, I can't construct sentences. Did I just say a real sentence?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, good.
It's perfect.
All
Best
right.
sentence ever heard.
Okay, so Insider is Werewords, but it came first. And it is, as Kellen alluded, it is more beautiful. It's a prettier box. It looks elegant. If somebody opened this as a gift, they would be excited. As opposed to Werewords, they would be scared. And they would be like, I'm not giving this. Young mother won't give this to her child. So wait, I'm not arguing.
Yeah, I was going to say.
What's the other option?
Unmatched.
You're just introducing Insider.
All right, so Insider is a game where one person is the insider. I'm just kidding. Okay, the reason I put this on my list is because everybody has played a version of this game. The barrier to entry is very low, and so as soon as they start playing it, they get it, and they're just like, again, I guess all of mine are like, there's this moment of like, oh, wow, this is so cool. I didn't know this existed. I've had these experiences. So these people really say these things to me and they're excited. And then we bring it and they just want to play again and again and again. And I'm like, I've already played this a million times. I don't want to play it again and again and again. But yeah, it's a great game and everybody would be happy to pull it out of their stocking stuffing.
Unmatched is a 1v1 battling game where you have these very mismatched characters on a board moving around, fighting each other, trying to whittle down each other's hit points to 0. It is a game that I put on this list on the strength of two things: the quality of the production and the usage of licenses. I think that if you have someone that is board game adjacent, that, for example, is a big fan of Jurassic Park, I would in a heartbeat be like, oh, I know you like board games. Here's this Jurassic Park themed version of Unmatched. It's a tasteful use of the license that has beautiful art, beautiful sort of renditions of the theme it's evoking, while also being a really high quality game in the process. It also is the foundation point for a game that could be a lot bigger if they really like it. They might be like, oh, I dug this. I'm going to get this character and this character. It feels like you're giving them something that's a smaller part of a bigger whole that has a easy latching onto point with these cool, diverse characters that they have built around the periphery of the game.
Wow. That was the best argument that anyone has given so far.
I agree.
I mean, no, okay, but first of all, but it has to be disqualified.
What?
Right? Like, I mean, you're using every Unmatched. You're saying that this, if it's Buffy the Vampire Slayer, if it's Jurassic Park, if it's Bruce Lee, all of those are in this system and they have to be evaluated against one game of Insider?
Yes.
Oh, great.
No, I mean, I guess on
Pick
the
the Unmatched
surface,
that works for you.
But I think you could gift Unmatched Volume 1 Heroes versus Villains. I forget what the name of it actually is. But then say like, oh, and I know you like Jurassic Park, there's a Jurassic Park add-on for this that you could pick up as well. You know what I mean? It's flexible.
Yeah.
It's flexible.
But I didn't get you that one
Either one.
because I had to win the BGBOB.
It's the perfect personalized gift, though, Kellen.
There you go. For Nealon's argument and for the fact that if you look at Insider and Werewords and you try
No. Insider, fire away.
and you decide which one is more likely to be used with clip art, then I will say, and also for spite, I'm going to go for Unmatched.
Okay,
Fire
Kellen,
away.
you're the deciding vote here.
I actually am struggling with Unmatched because I think I love the idea. There's a style of it for you, but I think like if we put Risk on the list or Monopoly, like we could make a similar argument that I think is kind of wrong.
I get it.
Or honestly outside the scope of what we're doing.
No, but with Monopoly and with Risk, it's more of a skin. Unmatched, you have like the player powers are more evocative of the IP.
Well, no, that's fine, right? You're saying they're even more different, meaning Nealon has to choose one of them and not cheat.
I get your point. I don't think it's that big a deal, but
Yeah, I agree. Kellen, what's your
Okay.
vote?
Well, I mean, Nealon didn't pick a board game. He picked a board game system. Therefore, Insider Firewest.
But
All right.
we're tied.
Yeah, we're tied, so Nealon wins because the strength of his argument. Unmatched.
like,
Here we go. Codenames versus a game that was on Christina's and my list, Biblios. Biblios is
A great gift.
As a great gift, yes. You want to teach people about set collection, about auction, about all this kind of stuff. Push your luck. You give them Biblios. That's my argument for Biblios. Kellen, I see you.
Be a teacher.
Go ahead.
Be a teacher for this Christmas.
That's right. With the box.
I think that we're ignoring some of the things that make a gift unique. This isn't just the best under $30 thing that you give to Aunt Jane that you don't care about, that you can buy
Aunt
quickly
Jane
on
is going to
Amazon.
play Quest for El Dorado?
Excuse me?
You can have Aunt Jane
Was
play
I
Quest-
finished speaking?
Okay, go for it.
Biblios is about as uninviting, perhaps the most uninviting game that we've covered thus far on this list of being ugly, brown, a theme that no one cares about. Just
Monks?
completely... Excuse me?
We have religious listeners.
Why do you hate monks, Kellen?
Yeah.
I believe in the value of the game Biblios. I do not think it makes a good gift, to be just candid. I don't think it's presenting enough, appealing enough as a, like, for example, some of my games on this list have like components that I think are beautiful to look at. And like that's part of the equation. And I just think Biblios like does not qualify.
Have you ever seen the Biblios dice?
Boom, 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 boom. Right there. Also, it's book shaped. There, I mean, look, it's not like
No,
extravagant.
that's fair. That's fair. That's a good counter argument. It's book shaped, not the dice. You
The
dumb
dice
ass.
are great.
The dice
The
are
dice
great.
are not great. You don't do anything with them.
And Jenny,
They're
guess
beautiful.
what? Look, look at these big dice, Aunt Jenny. We're not even going to roll them. We're not even going to roll them. That'll blow her mind. That'll blow her
That
mind.
will blow her mind.
That's right.
I'm
Biblios,
still voting
fire away.
Codenames, but
Oh,
fire away Codenames. Sorry.
Nealon, come on.
Codename fire away.
I'm so torn, Mark, because I like Biblios a lot, but I kind of
I'm going Codenames. I know what
it's.
you
I think
Don't
it's
worry.
Codenames.
Don't lie to me.
Biblios will beat other things
Okay,
like
that's fair.
Werewords.
I like Codenames as a gift, so Codenames it is. That's fine. Oh, Biblios versus Shh. Easy. Good versus garbage. Come on, Shh. You give somebody a Paco game for Christmas?
I still think it's.
You're a Grinch.
I think it's as well.
Nealon, what do you think?
I think it's.
Christina? Oh, my God.
Biblios.
Okay.
She was reluctant though. So
She was
passion.
reluctant.
I
Yeah.
love Shh, and I haven't gotten to vote for it yet.
Are you going to give anybody Shh?
I think no, it's Biblios. It's Biblios. It's Biblios. I'm giving Biblios.
It's hard to say shh with passion.
That's right.
That's
okay,
why
good
Biblios
argument, Nealon.
wins.
Nealon, you've made the argument beautifully. Biblios.
Wait, no, wait.
Okay. No, you got it. I'm with you 100%. Quest for El Dorado versus Illusion.
Illusion.
All right,
Hey,
great.
this was almost on my list.
Here we go. Illusion is a amazing small card game that it borders on the activity to the game side of the spectrum, where you have cool pictures of optical illusions using, I believe, 4 colors, and you are trying to arrange them in order of least to most. So you draw a card and you go, oh crap, does this have more or less blue? Where does this slot into the row? There's a ton of replayability because at any one time you're only looking at one of the colors. So even if you've seen a card a bunch of times, it may not be looking at the yellow in that one. This has a ton of fun moments as people sort of press their luck or try to call BS, which is a fun system to turn to your neighbor and call BS. This is a small card game, very low barrier to entry. This is one, as I was planning my go home for Christmas list, already is in my bag, ready to go home so I can play it with anyone. I have given out more than 4 copies of this as a game, probably the most
As a
gifted.
gift?
Yes, most gifted game I have encountered in the last 4 or 5 years. Illusion.
I've also given this as a gift.
Probably my copy.
Probably a copy from Amazon. What are you talking about?
I will say I'm voting for Illusion, but you're going
Wait, what's the other one?
to Quest for El Dorado.
Oh, it's mine. Dear
Well,
gosh, why
you
does
don't
this keep
reintroduce
happening?
it. You just
I know. I just keep forgetting the competition. This is tough. This is a tough one.
this actually would be a great 1-2 punch in my mind to give to someone. Is both of these games.
right.
Oh yeah.
talking about?
No, it's a good pair. It's a
Okay,
good pair.
Mark. Okay, let's just
Yeah.
decide. This doesn't need to make it, but it could if you
Yeah,
feel
if it's
like
funny
you're
enough.
being mean to me. Christina, who is the best gift
Callan.
giver that you know?
Kellen, he's very, very, very good at gift.
I have
gift giving.
lists for last year, a list for this year that I start in literally January. I literally have gifts already slotted for my father for his birthday.
That's
after
awesome.
Christmas.
That is
that
very, very
relate
cool.
to the gifts from now.
Yeah.
People who just give like gift cards or like random, like I just don't get it. And so I do think
That's
there's like
why Unmatched is a good
like Christina
Christmas
gets
present.
gifts that are like I do gifts that are like a reach. Like I don't know that she's gonna like it, so I got to give her something like right in the comfort zone of what I know she's gonna like. It's gonna have a book. There's a practical gift. There's literally like a suite of gifts that support each other.
So tell me
It's
how
true.
Illusion
Yeah.
is scaffolding
so
for Quest for El Dorado.
Illusion is a surefire hit for anyone who's willing to play a game.
Every time you say illusion, it's like you can't not say it in the joke voice.
Illusion.
You can't not.
So Quest for El Dorado is like a tougher sell. You know what I mean? It's like you got to get them playing. It's like kind of like that meme where you're like, oh, it'll only take 5 minutes to set up, but it really takes 15 minutes or 20 minutes to explain it.
Right.
So the 1-2 punch works because they'll enjoy Illusion. So even if they never open the other one, they'll still feel like the present was value. And you could get Illusion for $10 to add on to that bigger gift. So together it works.
And we again have done this like combo as part of a wedding gift because
This exact combo?
not this exact combo, but a combo like this where you have
With
something
the 1-2 punch. With
the
this
1-2
thought
punch.
process. With this amazing number. Did you hear it? Number one gift giver thought process applied.
Look,
I don't think you heard her, Mark.
if you're saying give somebody a simple gift and then give them a complicated gift, sure, that's a 1-2 punch, great. But like to say like this specifically is like a great 1-2 punch, I will totally argue against.
What's a better 1-2 punch?
I mean, you could do anything. Okay, Codenames and what's slightly
Biblios.
complicated? Yeah, Biblios, great, perfect. That's an excellent 1-2 punch. That's Muhammad
Yeah.
Ali of 1-2
What a
punches.
visual treat. Codenames and Biblios you gave him.
I will say, if
What a delight.
You're arguing about the component quality and like the sparkle of Biblios, and you're giving somebody illusion, which is like clip art for days.
I'm not
like the
going
clip
to
artiest
lie.
of clip art.
I did have this thought in my head that I do wonder, like, the thing is, I know illusion is a good gift, but does illusion look like a good gift when you get it? I do think there's a little bit of a barrier of like, trust me, we're going to play this and you're going to love this, which you have to get past a little bit with illusion.
Yeah, you could make a prettier illusion. You could
Sure.
make like the gift-giving edition of illusion, and then it would become the number
So-
one on the list instead
So
of
what
the
you're
number two.
what you're saying is that your addition to the list is actually a Pokemon themed version of illusion.
Oh.
I will just say that I think Quest for El Dorado is a better choice because Illusion is the game you pull out at the bar, but it gets old fast. You know, I really like it, but I think that your friends are going to be super excited about it for the first like 5 times they go to the bar, and then they're not going to have fun unless they're like on
Listen.
their 5th round, you know?
Your friend doesn't want to play a game. He gets up to use the restroom. By the time he comes back, it's already set up, and you just say, "Is this have more blue or less blue than that?" Boom! He's playing.
All right, we got to move.
Illusion.
We gotta-
Fire away.
I'm gonna go illusion as well.
Quest for El Dorado for me.
Quest for El Dorado, fire away.
Oh, good lord.
No, I haven't won one of these. You go against me every time.
Who does?
Mark.
That's true. All right, I'll give you this one. Illusion it is. All right, modern art versus Azul.
Ooh.
Ooh.
All right, Azul. Forget everything I said about illusion. Azul is absolutely perfect for the big box game to give as a gift. 1, it looks beautiful. 2, it's tactile. You pick it out. People like literally touching the pieces. 3, the game is just complicated enough to be sort of that plus half twist up. 4, it works very well with Care Bear players who don't want to hurt each other at all. And it works extremely well with people who are used to the take that style of old school board games where they literally just drain a hop and, you know, their neighbor screams at them and goes, "Why did you do that?"
Do you remember the song we made up about pips and hops?
Oh, yeah, we were working on this the other night in bed. It was like if pips and hops were...
We're candy and
We were trying to come up with a board
the
game.
ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. So we were
Right.
trying to come up with the board game version of that.
And then it was pips and hops, but no one knows what a hop
yeah.
is. except for
The
us.
hop is a word you invented.
Azul should be number 1 on this list. It will be a shame if Azul is not number 1 on this list. This is the perfect price point. This is the perfect beautifulness. This is the perfect game that twists in the right ways for the right groups. Universal gift. Azul, fire away.
Azul. Wait, what is this going again?
Modern art.
Okay, yeah, Azul fire away. I will also say the 1-2 punch that he was referring to was Illusion and Azul. I just didn't want to say that last time because I didn't want to talk bad about the Quest for El Dorado, but that was the 1-2
Let the
punch.
record show. We'll have the stenographer take that down. I'm also going to say Azul. Fire away.
Okay.
Doesn't matter what Neon says.
Don't talk, Nealon.
Unmatched versus Fast Sloths. These are a couple of Nealon games.
Yeah.
So Nealon, tell us
If
about Fast
pips
Sloths.
and
real quick.
hops were lollipops, we'd all have a very Merry Christmas.
Boom,
We're
trademark.
going to have workshop this entire song by the end of the episode.
Is there a full song around that?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Really?
In the original, no, but there's going to be about this one.
Okay.
Yeah, Pips and Hops.
Okay, let me intro Fast Sloths. So this was actually the big box board game I picked, and I was actually deliberating between this and Quest for El Dorado, which I'm glad showed up elsewhere. Fast Sloths I like a lot in this recommendation because it is, again, it sort of is a good straddler of the accessible and gamery. I feel like it sort of covers a lot of ground while having a theme that is just like adorable on the surface. Like I think you have to get past a certain barrier with board games, which is this theme appealing? You can't give Kalis to everyone because of Grumpy Old Man on the front of the brown box. Like Fast Sloths is just an appealing look, and you know, it being cutesy animals has widespread appeal. I think it's a very good family game. It's a very good gamery game. It's a game I like a lot, and that's Fast Sloths.
What are you going to vote for? Fast Sloths or Unmatched?
Fast
Sloths,
Sloths, fire away.
I think of the two.
Fast Sloths, fire away.
I'll save my commentary for later.
Oh, I loved your cutesy argument. That hasn't come up yet. I think Neelan's the best arguer of the group.
So far, he's our barrister. All right, Illusion versus Codenames. I'm going to say Codenames, fire away.
I'm also going to say Codenames, fire away.
I think that Neelan's argument that people have been exposed to Codenames would make me in 2020 a little less likely to give it as a gift. I feel like when coworkers find out that I, A, play a lot of board games, or B, have a board game podcast, Codenames is probably comes up about 50% of the time. It's something that they've played with other young adults. I agree, though. I think it's probably a better universal gift. I would just be afraid that they already have it or have played it. If they've played it, it's not a good gift anymore, and Illusion wins.
Sell to the other 50%.
What if they played it once and they really liked it, but they didn't have
Then they would have bought it for themselves.
$19.99?
They would have bought it for themselves.
What if they didn't have $19.99? I don't know if that's
You
how much
never
it
buy
costs.
something for someone
that they would buy for themselves. Yeah, I know.
This is part of the strategy. Write this down.
This is actually
No, I'm serious. There's rules, there's laws, there's order.
This is disguised. This is a BGBOB, but it's not. It's actually Kellen on how to gift give.
I'll do that. Patreon exclusive. Illusion, fire away.
How to stock your stuffing.
I think I'm with Callan in that I find the argument hard for Codenames because I do think it just has such widespread exposure. So I'm going to go with Illusion on this one.
All right, I'm breaking the tie. Codenames it is. Moving on. Illusion versus...
This is the worst tiebreaker.
We got to move. We got to move this thing.
We got to move.
Illusion versus Biblios. Neelan,
All right.
come on now.
Illusion.
Are you
Illusion,
kidding
fire
me?
away.
Clip art. Okay, well, it's actually not going to matter again because Christina is going to vote for. Oh, she's hesitating. Good God.
Illusion, fire away.
All right, Illusion it is. You're wrong. Biblios versus Quest for El Dorado.
Oof. See, this is a good one, right? Because I think Quest for El Dorado is more niche. This is the stretch. This is in a similar vote to Fast Loss, where Biblios, you could start a game of Biblios, in the time it takes to set up Quest for El Dorado, which makes it a better gift. Looking at the box cover, though, Quest for El Dorado does have a theme that someone might actually be interested in.
And it looks like a more impressive gift.
I don't know about Quest for El Dorado. I've been a little sus on the whole idea that it's like going to be easy enough for non-gamers to play with the deck building.
That is actually my biggest argument against Quest for El Dorado. I would imagine, I could be proven wrong, but it'd be a harder game to sell or to describe to a casual.
And the cards are too small. Biblios, fire away.
Wow, that's a Biblios vote for you?
I like
Callan's first ever.
I think that's Quest for El
you add
Dorado
it to
for me.
every list we do.
I think it's still Quest
Well,
for
for
El
good
Dorado
reason.
as well for me.
All right, well, doesn't matter because I'm making a Biblios. Quest for El Dorado versus... All right, I'm going to repay the favor and say, fire away.
Yeah, it's a fire away. It's just more universal. When I think about
I
gifts
agree with
and
that.
how we're ranking this, it's a word game, and word games, like, people have that connection to it, and this is a co-op. It is small. I do agree, Mark, that it's almost too It's like right on the cusp.
Yeah, like why are you giving that as a gift?
It's barely stocking your stuffing, as we've talked
It's
about.
barely doing that. This is something you just give someone,
What do you mean? That's a gift.
No,
Perfect.
no,
Fire away.
Just slip it into their
Not a
pocket
gift.
on any random day.
Exactly.
Yeah, like a sporadic gift.
I think I could see the argument, and I think just because, I do think it's a lot less niche. Like, the accessibility of word games is hard to get past. Fire away.
All right, it is. Fast Loss versus Azul.
I'm sympathetic to the opening of the cover and seeing the sloth. I think that there would be joy in that shared opening, just like literally looking at the sloth. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Like
very
almost
cute.
like it's a gag gift, but then actually it's a fun board game. I think we're right on a precipice with Fast Loss as well, in my mind, for it
terms
being
of weight?
it's got a little too much going on.
I was intending to ride that line, but I'm hoping at least that this is on the right side of that line. At least from my perception, it is, because I do think it's actually quite a light game when you actually get down to it.
Yeah, it's very simple.
But I mean, if Azul does not end up at number one in this list, we have failed collectively as a podcast.
I
Azul,
would
fire
not
away.
be mad with Azul beating Fast Sloths.
Yeah, Azul, fire away.
Oh, I'm torn, but okay, I guess we're going Azul. Fast Loss versus Modern Art.
These were both on my list. I'm going to say Fast Sloths of the two of them. Fire away.
I'm also going to say Fast Sloths.
I'm also going to say Fast Sloths. Fire away.
All right.
The problem with the modern art is the different editions, and depending on the edition, I do think it would function better or worse as a gift.
I think that's true, but I also
But in Neelan's universe, any game could be any game.
exactly
with
that's the
Unmatched,
brilliance
so.
of modern art. You pick the edition.
It's great that you bring that up because our next battle is Modern Art versus Unmatched. Whichever one you want.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Unmatched. I still have the echoes of Neelan's beautiful argument ringing
Yeah,
in my
me
head.
too. Unmatched. Fire
It's
away.
my favorite of the two, so I submitted both, so Unmatched for me as well.
I agree.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, great. Thanks.
Azul versus Codenames.
Azul, fire away.
Azul, fire away.
I could go either way on this.
Yeah, I feel like I've slowly, over the course of this BGBBOB, been convinced that Codenames is a bad gift.
It's not a bad
I know.
gift at all.
All right,
But my
Azul.
friends have all already played it, apparently.
They've all got married because they had it.
They've all gotten married because
That's
of
hard to
Codenames.
When
argue
you
against,
run out
yeah.
of unmarried friends, who will you gift it to?
That's right. That's the eternal question. But moving on to the next question, which is Fast Sloths versus Codenames.
And see, this is like, how much do you like your friends? You know what I mean? That you're gifting them to. Because Codenames is just pieces of paper cut up. You could cut that up yourself. But Fast Sloths is a real game.
I love both of these. I just think Fast Sloths is so charming and the rule set is so small that I think you could teach this to non-gamers who might be even encouraged to play it because of the cute theme. So I'm going to say Fast Sloths.
Fire away.
I pick Codenames. Fire away. I don't think the Sloths are as universally accessible as you think they are.
Fast Sloths. Fire away.
Unmatched versus Codenames.
Okay.
I'm going to
I
say
think,
Codenames.
yeah, here I'm going to stick to Codenames.
Fire away.
Fire away.
The case against modern art is that it requires a specific group with a specific number of people, and Unmatched is just the 1v1 that I think is a big positive, getting it played. You know what I mean? There's the opening of it, and Unmatched has that glorious art, and could even function for a Jurassic Park or a Buffy fan as just like a collector's item. You know what I mean? They don't even have to
Right,
play.
exactly. That
good
was kind
gift.
of my thinking on that for sure. I'm going to say Unmatched, fire away. One of the things that's so interesting about these comparisons is it starts to get who is this gift for? It sort of starts running through your head when you're weighing it up.
Kellen.
I think it's Codenames, but I see the value in Unmatched for sure.
All right. And now Unmatched value comes up against Illusion.
It's not even close. Illusion fire.
Unmatched, fire away.
It's a broad thing, and Neelan has cheated by putting Unmatched here because it's as broad as any theme that Unmatched could be or ever might be in the future, and Illusion is something you can buy right now.
We'll have the stenographer take down your argument. I'm torn on this.
I'm torn on this too. I think for me, I'm leaning Illusion.
This is a gift that you would get non-gamers. Okay, even Unmatched Bruce Lee edition.
Yeah,
you give that to a coworker, they're going to say, "Why did you get me Unmatched
Well,
Bruce
you wouldn't
Lee
give
edition?"
someone Bruce Lee
Yeah.
You have
edition
a
because
Bruce
there's
Lee
only
poster in your
one
office.
person in that pack, Kellen, you idiot. You'd give them one of the 2-player editions.
What, like Robin Hood versus Buffy?
Versus,
All right. I'm going to go Illusion. Fire away. Moving on. Unmatched versus Biblios. Well, Unmatched is going to lose again, as I think we're going to universally.
Biblios.
Unmatched,
Fire away.
fire
Fire
away.
away.
Oh, wow.
Biblios is not a gift.
I think it is a good gift.
It is a gift. I have given Biblios.
I think it's a
gift.
good gift too.
Yes.
I mean, obviously, we're firing away.
I think the only upside, like you mentioned, is that it looks like a book.
Why is that the biggest
Because
upside?
it's a gift.
2020 is the
Packages.
year of the book.
So you
want
wanna
to
trick-
Biblios wins.
you want to
Moving
trick
on.
someone and make them think you're giving them a book?
No, it's cutesy. It functions on its own outside of being
Yeah, and
a
then
board
you
game.
open it up, and then you see the beautiful Aunt Jenny dice.
That's right. And Jenny's like, "What about these dice? Are we going to roll them?" And I'm like, "Wait, Aunt Jenny, don't roll those dice just yet." Unmatched versus
It's got to be
Fire away.
I wouldn't mind
Good
losing this matchup.
Though I think the art in Unmatched really is spectacular.
It is.
Yeah, I would go unmatched on this.
Okay, let's do it
But
then,
what's their
Mark.
count?
Let's do it. Unmatched.
Well, no, it's because his vote counts for 1.5 because he's breaking all ties.
I'm fine with that. It's like every time Unmatched comes up, I'm having the problem that you brought up, which is like I'm thinking of specific people, and then I go back and I'm like, oh, well, that person would like that one, but then the other, you know what I mean? It's like there's too much.
Well, and Neelan, you're doing what I almost did but decided not to cheat, which is to put Splendor and Marvel Splendor on the list. So it's like For smart people, you give them Splendor, and for stupid people, you give them Marvel Splendor, and boom, you've covered the
Well, it's
entire
actually
world.
funny though. It's like I totally buy your argument, but I didn't even occur to me while I put it on my list. It was just like, oh yeah, Unmatched is a great pick because you do this and this. But yeah, I do see why it's a little bit like.
Wait, who for the record has fired away here? I have fired away. Who else has fired away?
I
We've
fired
all
away.
fired
on
I
Unmatched.
think we fired.
It's
Okay.
2v2.
Okay, tiebreaker is volume. Unmatched wins it. Shh versus Insider.
Oh, Insider, fire away.
I think his biggest downside is that it's quite small.
And it looks
someone
ugly.
the card art is quite striking.
But the box falls apart. It's not a great.
Someone who opens it would not be as impressed as if they opened Insider. Insider, fire away.
Also, think about all the times we've lost because of how small it is.
Yeah, do we know where it is right now?
No, we don't know where it is. We lose it all the time.
I'm going Insider also.
Insider fire away.
All right. Shh versus Modern Art.
I think I've been honestly more or less convinced that Modern Art has enough specificity to it that I don't think it holds up against Shh. Shh is a game that if I had thought about probably would have been on my list because I've had so much success playing it with my family, for example.
The gavel is nice though. You got to give it up for
That's
the gavel, but I'm also going to say shh. Far away.
Fire away.
All right. Modern Art versus Quest for El Dorado.
I think Modern Art. I think it just works as a piece of art.
I feel like your argument keeps changing.
Nuh-uh.
I'm
That's
sticking with
classic.
Fire
Quest for
away.
El Dorado. Fire away.
I'm going Modern Art. Far away. Gavel.
Modern Art fire away.
Gavel, gavel. Werewords versus Quest for El Dorado. Werewords.
Quest for El Dorado. Fire away.
Quest for El Dorado.
Werewords fire away.
Ooh.
No, Mark.
Ooh.
Don't do it.
I like it.
Don't do it.
I like it.
Did you do it?
Werewords moves through.
Oh,
we're finished.
God.
Oh, we never had
Are
the
you
Werewords
serious?
Insider matchup.
Yeah, we never had the
Thank
Werewords Insider.
Goodness, we didn't have to break the podcast.
All right, here we go. From number 12, Just One, which I think got short shrift. Did we only have it in one battle?
I think it was only
It
in
was
one
only
or two.
it was only in one, I think. Or...
Quest for El Dorado is number 11.
That kind of surprised me.
Werewords is
What?
number 10.
Wait. That's number 11?
Yeah,
That's
as
right.
it
That
should be.
doesn't.
Werewords is number 10, so perfect. Number 9, Modern Art. Number 8, Shh. Number 7, Insider.
Nice.
Number 6, Unmatched. Top 5 is where you want to be with Biblios. Number
Oh,
4 is Illusion. Number 3 is Codenames. Number 2, Fast Sloths. And the number 1 gift, Azul.
Wow.
That
I'm
order
shocked by
does
this
not
list.
seem right at all to me for some reason.
Well,
I
do you
know.
remember how it was 2v2 like 17 times and Mark just picked the one he liked?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's the key to this list.
Everybody listening, we are not sure if Mark has been lying and clicking on the wrong thing every single time, in
Well, whatever I
addition to
click on
his
is the right
1.5 vote, or if Pub Meeple is broken. So if anybody feels like checking those results for us, I don't know if there's a, I'm sure there's a mathematical way to check that. So let us know on discord.com/boardgamebarrage.
I can't believe anybody has the time to do that, but thanks for the suggestion. So that is our list of gifts for Christmas or for whatever occasion. Weddings. I guess in a wedding situation, Codenames moves to number 1. Well, if you want a wedding to happen, Codenames moves to number 1 on that list.
Is that what we decided? There's also a different list probably for stocking your stuffing.
Yeah, exactly. How stocked do you want your stuffing? Ask yourself
Yeah,
that
so-
and come back to this.
So I think Shh is number 1 for that list.
No, it's number
all-
12 for that list. You can't stock stuffing with shh.
No,
Your
I
stuffing's not
know,
gonna get
I know,
stocked.
I
but
think it's the only game that would fit in the
no,
turkey.
Insider.
That's true,
You
that's a
got
good point.
Insider and Shh.
All right.
I
Send
don't
us
know,
your
I can't-
pictures of stocking your stuffing with a shh or Insider.
And hopefully
Give
at
them what
least
you-
one picture has Shh sticking out of the turkey butt.
But not the Board Game Barrage. Send those direct to Mark Masada.
That's right. Well, I'll take them. Believe me, I'll take them. I'll take them.
Wasn't it Mark Basada at Vin Games or something?
Yeah,
Right.
I've got
.com?
multiple email addresses. I'm the man of the future because I have more than one email address. That will do it for our episode. Thank you so much for listening. As always, you can find us on all forms of social media. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on everything. Just look up Board Game Barrage and you will find us there.
Join the Patreon if you want to hear how to be the best gift giver of all time.
That's right.
Exclusive bonus episode with Callan Allen.
Callan's official masterclass is available for patrons only.
That's right.
So find that at boardgamebarrage.com/Patreon. Join our Discord at boardgamebarrage.com/Discord. Feel free to email us with your pictures of your stocking stuffed or whatever we were talking about earlier at boardgamebarrage@gmail.com. Thanks as always to Heart Society for our intro and outro song, What's on Your Mind, Kid. Happy holidays, everybody. We will see you next week.
And if you can guess the amount of games that you can fit in a stocking, then you win. Mark will send you a copy of Biblios.
Exactly.
If you can accurately guess.
That's right.
I don't even think we're going to make it to 2021 based on the quality of this recording.
Oh, man, I have to say I agree. Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
You want me to hit stop or keep
Kellen,
going?
you didn't say bye.
Oh. Red.
Rogers of the Ganges, the Dice Charmers. Neelis. Neelis. That would be your Roman name. Neelis.
I heard
BGBBOB. What are we calling this? BGBBOB list?
BGBBOB walks down the chimney.
That's right. BGBBOB box down the chimney?
Walks, well, I guess.
Oh,
I
walks.
don't know.
You don't walk.
Do you walk down a chimney? You just slide?
Climb?
Yeah, you fall. What's that?
You climb down a chimney, surely.
No, you slide down.
All right. BGBBOB, slide down the chimney.
I mean, if Azul does not end up at number one in this list, we have failed collectively as a podcast.
I would not be mad with Azul beating fast sloths. Don't publish me saying fast. Do not publish me saying fast.
Wait, what? You just said fast. What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's saying fast.
Oh, instead of false?
Yeah.